Oh my goodness. I was been muted that whole time? Wow. Thank you so much for hopping in the stream and saving me. Let's see. I need to add this to my checklist. Start meld, check browser window. Check. Mic is set to wave. Good gravy. Oh man, that's stupid. Oh well. Well. Okay. It be what it be. Work is going good. We're working on Poochie Survivors tonight. It's going to be a remake, a Picotron remake of my Pico 8 game. It's a dog-based Vampire Survivors like. And I'm just going through the design document for it now. We actually have a little bit of a working prototype. I pulled in my Pico 8 code. And so it's like, it's all janky, like the stuff isn't working and whatnot, and I'm kind of porting it over. But this is the original. You were just vibing to the music, Kevin? Oh man. My mouth's over here flapping and nothing's coming out. Yeah, so this is the original. This is actually a new version that I haven't, it's got some updates that I haven't released on the Pico 8 forums yet, on the BBS. It's got a couple new characters. It's got Gus, who has the fire hydrant weapon. Yep, it's a dog game. Going for a walk and getting hounded by all the critters. Yeah, you can play it on lexalawful.com. It's in the Pico 8 BBS. You can play it in the browser if you don't have Pico 8. But yeah, I'm working on a little Picotron HD remake. We're calling it Poochie Survivors 64. Yeah, it's a Survivors like Vampire Survivors. It's the first game I actually finished. It was part of a game jam that I ran with some friends of mine, and ended up polishing it up enough. Oh, thanks. So let's see. Right stick. We don't know what the right stick is gonna be. What button is that? Where is my carts releases? X barks. And we have so many other buttons now. We got L and R we can use for stuff. We got 3 face buttons. And we really have a whole nother right stick. I mean, Vampire Survivors is elegant in its simplicity. But maybe we could put a twist on it that uses some of the other buttons for things. I do like the bark powers, where you can bark, 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 and it would give you secondary buffs, or maybe there's something on a cooldown or something. Bark, bark, bark. The original barking, it didn't have any mechanics. It was just fun. It was a fun thing to do. And the streams that I watched of people playing it, like Archie, would just bark all the time because it's just silly and fun. So it'd be nice to, I think it'd be fun to have the barking in there just as a cosmetic to start, but then later you can unlock some bark powers. And then each pooch would have its own bark powers. So X O / and heart. Bark. Hmm. You could make the bark an AoE effect to give the player... Yeah. So actually, I already have that here under my ideas. You would have heard me say this if my mouse was turned or mic was turned on. But yeah, I got some example bark powers here. Pushing back, so it's like an AoE boof, which kind of like pushes everything back when things kind of get close. And that would have a cooldown timer. So all the barks. Another one would be the zoomies, which you can give like a burst, of speed, a dash. And then I thought one could be like you fall asleep and you like heal when you fall asleep, but that doesn't really make sense for a bark power. So I was thinking maybe if you idle too long, because one of the fun things about Vampire Survivor games is you get your build so cool and so powerful that you can just kind of like sit there. And maybe if you idle too long, you fall asleep. And when you fall asleep, you heal. So maybe that's like a separate, maybe secret mechanic or something. But then I want to come up with some other bark powers for the other dogs. We have 8 dogs in total. But let's see here. Then we got L. And R. Probably, it might not be bad to have like a menu. I mean, we have a start for pausing, but maybe like a menu button. Which one is heart? Isn't heart the top one? Yeah. The top one's kind of a menu-ish position. Menu? You make it so that one bark power lets the enemies on the map run away. Like all of them? Oh, all of them, but no experience. That's an interesting trade-off. Mega Bark clears, makes all enemies run, but no gained. I also want to add, oops, pickups. Pickups and destructibles. Another could be a bark summoning. You get more enemies. Oh, that's an interesting idea. All right, list of no return, credits to do's, bugs, do next. All right, let's go to our V1 roadmap. Right now, what do I need to get for a V1 that's like a stable playable alpha with 1 level? We would need player movement. Actually, you know what, we could movement, barking, I need to get the stats hooked back up. Pooch. Switching. Actually, probably don't even need that for this version. And then we need scene switching. Let's do Because we need to be able to exit the house and go into a level. So we need to get the scene switching working. Map movement. I'm gonna have to completely gut and redo that whole system for map movement. Idea for a dog weapon: the leech. Your dog drags a leech behind him with that damages enemies. Do you mean leash? With rising weapon level, the leash gets longer. A choker collar gives an AoE effect on a rhythm. I've already got a flea collar that does that. Weapons. And then we need items. And then we need play timer. And we need a game over scene. Title scene. You know, it's funny you say that. I literally have an item called landmines that does that. So look at that. You're so smart. You're like inventing the stuff that I've already invented, but like independently. Independent creation. Great minds think alike. So right now the weapons are, if we go to attacks, we have the dig, we have the swing ball, the fetch stick, the disc B, the landmines, the flea collar, the hydrant, and I should probably call this the Hassan Piker, but the zap collar. You're supposed to throw it at the wall, not creators. It's gonna stick all over me and get stuck. Okay. Items. We have, where are my items? There are my items. Those aren't my items. These are the attacks. Do I have the items in here as well? There's the items. Oh wait, no, this is the good boy heart. The defense collar. the cooldown pause. Bone perfume. The vitamins. And then we have bacon. Item A. And item B, which I haven't invented yet. So we have room for a couple more. So this gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 weapons, 8 items for 8 dogs. We'll have 8 bark powers. Yeah, I think we can defer some of these. But I've already got the logic for like the majority. I mean, all of them really, except for the item A and item B. Systems. I need scene switching. Let's take a look real quick. Scene switching. See, that's the scene switching. This is just another scene switch. Oh, the experience bar. Level up. Window. Experience bar. Hug. Upgrades hug. Upgrade HUD. And make portable for multiplayer. Midnight walk is hard mode. That's a cool idea. I dig that. Idea scratch list. I want to say I had that. Or that sounds like a familiar idea. I had 3 levels, and I had different time limits. I have to think about how to do nighttime, because the current color scheme is like everything is bold colors on a black background. So it almost looks like it's already at night. Okay, that's good enough to start on. So we got a decent clip of stuff. So let's get movement, map collision, enemy collision. Player collision? Do we want to collide with other players? Yeah, so at the end of a session in Vampire Survivors, you know, like the Grim Reaper comes out and attacks you. In this, it's a car and like buses. I think it's a car and a mail truck. I wonder if there's cool stuff that I could like pull inspiration-wise from Mega Bonk. Nope, I don't do isekai. We're doing a cozy. This is cozy themed. So when you get hit and you die, you go yip. Everything turns black. It goes yip, and you just see the dog, and he like runs off the screen, and then heads back home. Save. Load. Settings, scene. This is all stuffed into V1, but I'm gonna end up moving stuff around. Rebind keys. Volume. And sound controls. Achievements are an idea. I think I would rather have achieving things reward you, though. Not meaningless. You killed 5,000 squirrels or whatever. I'd rather, like, if you do something achieve worthy, it unlocks an item or unlocks something. Okay. So let's see. We've got our dog. I need to get him some tile collision. That's what we need right now. So let's look at our map situation. Let's see. We've got... I do want to Y-sort the actors eventually. New dog, spawn dog. So we need a hitbox. We've got our hitbox and we've got our tile collision. How is our map working? Let's take a look. Don't judge. This is really old code, and I'm probably going to end up gutting all of it and redoing it. But for the time being, if there's gross stuff, just be like, wow, that's old code. You can make owners only to give a bonus for the dog you choose. It gives a... That's an idea. Kind of like a passive bring along an owner or something like that. Have an owner buff. Init items, build enemies, init the home screen. Or home scene. So when we init the home, we're making the update and draw scene for the home. We're resetting the timer. We're not initting the dogs because we're doing a whole new dog system. Change world, unpack world home 1. Where is my world folder? Probably this one here. Change world. Wow, that's a lot of Pico 8 gobbledygook. Good gravy. I'm so sorry, Kevin, if you're still here. This is hurtful to the eyes. Change world. World X, world Y, width, height. Yeah, because we're like working off of that single Pico 8. I love how when you import this with P8x8, even though like it still dumps the sprite data into the map. Okay, so I think we just need to make some new map files. That's what I'm thinking. Dog idea, Gucci. A dog that is still in the bag. Owner carried him around. His bark ability is turtle. Makes him, for a few seconds, invincible. That's an interesting idea. Gucci's a great name for like a teacup poodle in a bag. You know what that makes me think of? There's that one Vampire Survivors character that you can unlock that's just like a tree, and it has like a movement speed of like practically nothing. And so the strategy is like what items to pick and what upgrades to pick to make it actually survive, because you just like can't move at all. And a dog just stuck in a bag that cannot move around would be hilarious. That would be pretty good. And maybe like your bark power is you can hop like like you hold a direction, you hit it, and it just like boop, and it's like on a massive cooldown. So it's like the slowest movement. But it's got like a big magnet ring, which would make sense because it's bone perfume that attracts bones for the magnet range. I'm mostly just listening while I'm at my son's soccer practice. Ooh, go team. I'm going to check the VOD and judge later. No worries. You're good. All right. I think, yeah, so back to the thing. I think we want... do I want to do a skeleton map? I think a skeleton map is maybe a little overkill, but it makes things easy. It means I could pull in my Legendables code and just use that. But yeah, I think we need to make new maps. What is this? Well, we're going to use it. We're going to call this home. And we're going to do 12 by 12 tiles. We're going to do it. Because that's been the kick that I've been on lately. So if we go to here, let's do a little bit of Matharuni. That sounds like Mega Man. Yep, Mega Man and base. 240 divided by 12 is 20. So we're looking at 20 tiles tall. Nope. And this one. 20 tiles tall. And then, no, it's 20 tiles wide. And then what is 135 divided by 12? That's 11 and a quarter. So we'll do 12, no? 12 tiles tall. All right, and that's our home. Let's go back to our sprites. Let's go to tab 1. I'm gonna change this to 12. That's actually, we can delete that stuff, so we'll just leave that. And this is going to be 12. And this is 12. 12. All right. So if we go to our map, we now have 12 by 12 tiles. Let's grab a home. And we can paste it here. That's actually, that's such a good size. I tell you what, the half resolution for Pico 8 is such a good size. Because it's like, it's like widescreen Pico 8. What is that resolution again? It's like 240 by, yeah, so 135 tall is like only like, what is it, 128? Pico 8 is 128. 135 minus 128. It's only 7 pixels tall. So it's almost like one tile taller than a Pico 8 screen. But it's 240. So it's like almost double wide. Let's see. 240 minus 128. It's 112. So yeah, it's like, it almost feels like a widescreen Pico 8, which I love. I love that so much. Okay. So we're going to redo some of these tiles. Wasn't expecting to do some graphic work tonight, but you know what? We're going to do a little graphic work. This is... That sounds like Bubsy. Oh, Wario Land 4. I was way off. Oops. That's going to be... That's not going to tile right. We want something like that. But then we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. And this one is, yeah, we're okay. We're just gonna do this one the way it is, and then we'll fix it in post. But it's like that. Keep coming with the dog ideas. I'm not gonna be doing them. Like I'm already done. Like I have 8 dogs already. But we'll, like, you know, we could probably put them in there for stretch goals or something like that. I do want to keep the scope solid though. So that's a window. That's the door. All right, we're getting there. Let's grab the carpets real quick. What if we... Well, this tile, that's 3. 4. Yeah. So we can keep the patterns. We'll just tile them a little bigger. There we go. that. I'll tell you what, I really am glad that Trog got me onto 12 by 12 tiles. I have fallen absolutely in love with them. They're so much, I don't know, they just feel cozier than 16 by 16. 16 by 16 feels too familiar. Like I've done a ton of work in 16 by 16. And it just feels so fresh to go to 12 by 12. I don't know. All right, there's the rug. And let's do the door now. That's gonna be here. You know what? Let's move some things around. I do that all the time. Cut that. That. I had a whole system planned for a telephone. Oh, I should do the telephone for this, where you can make calls. And like there was going to be like a TV with a mail order catalog, and that's where like it would randomly show weapons throughout the day. And then you could like that's how you could like buy weapons. So you'd see them on TV. Porcelain shop. Enemies are different tableware and vases that attack you. That's funny. What is that? $192? What is going on with these colors? What the heck? I've never seen that happen before. What in the world? Huh. Strange. So that's giving me 199. If I replace it, yeah, it picks it up. That's so odd. Wonder what's going on with that. That's so strange. Okay, well, it looks like we got everything. Okay. Oh, we didn't do yellow. Okay. All right. Level idea: sewer, mostly long pipes where rats attack you. Boss is a crocodile. What the? That's weird. That'll work. We're getting there. Windows 95. How wide is this thing? Oh, that's still got the crazy color. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. And then we got a border over here. That's interesting. Okay, so that goes all the way across. I don't think I want to make the window that big. Let's go. Oh, you know what? I bet that I didn't take the height into consideration. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go boop, boop, about like that. And let's go up, see how that looks. A Ninja Turtle. Oops. Do that all the time. Cut you. Paste you. Let's cut all of you. Paste you there. Cut you there. Paste you there. Yep, we're gonna have to do all that all over again. Blah, 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 blah. Whoop. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. And this is gonna go here. Here, here, here. Here, here! And there. I'm probably gonna make that an object and not tiles. But we're getting there. And that is the incorrect map. That's okay though. Clock. Problem solved. Let's do just a little bit of depth on there. grab some dark red. We'll put it on some little feet. And grab a dark brown. Too much? Eh, it's too much. That's good. Dog idea. Lifty, a bulldog on steroids. He deals more damage than other dogs. As a bonus, we can let him carry a dumbbell on his mouth. That's fun. That is good for now. Where's my little side door tile? There it is. We'll extend it out a little bit. There we go. And then we need to fix the leashes. And this is 3 spaces in between, so then that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Still not doing the colors right. How strange. Now it is when I replace them. Alright, cool. We have bot detected. What, are you kidding me? That's not a bot. That's my friend. He just wants to give me a whole bunch of streamy-deemy-deem stuff. Super friendly bot. You kidding me? Every time I try to open the Twitch app on my phone, I open the Roku app. They're both purple. They both look the same. Bot detected. Ban. Get out of here. Be gone, bot. I love 12 by 12, slightly more expressive than 8 by 8. That is correct. But you still need to be very deliberate with your pixel placement. 100%. It's like when you do Super Nintendo style graphics and you're like up in the 24 or like 32 range and you're like, oh man, look at all this space I got. You can just like do anything. And then you go back to 16 by 16 and you're like, oh man, it's so great. Like it's so, like you got to be creative with it. Once you go to 12 by 12, 16 by 16 just feels like 32 by 32. Like it's just so big. Oh, thanks for the sub, Kevin. I appreciate that. On my way to being a streamer millionaire. All right, let's get on to this new map, because right now we're on the old map. We don't want the old map. So change world. Okay, so we've got a world file. Right now the map, this looks like P8x8 stuff for compatibility, because Pico 8 would not do that. And then over here in my init, of all places, like an idiot, is all of my world data. Ugh. It's so dumb. I'm gonna get rid of that. We're gonna move this over into the world. We're gonna do away with it. And that should still work, and it does. Menu idea, if we make the difficulty with the night mode, you could use the clock to open difficulty menu. The clock adjusts how long of a walk you're going to go on. And it like speeds things up. So it's like for faster runs. And then I plan on having a secret feature where if you rapidly change the clock a whole bunch, it'll break it and it'll be like an endless run. All right, let's learn what this world thing does. Okay, so when we change worlds, world is now equaling WLD. So there's a world that's just one. Okay, so it lets us know what world we're on. World X, world Y. Oh, please, good gravy, split these things up for the love of all that is holy and good in this world. All right, so we've got WX, WY, W width, W height, SX and SY. What even are these? I'm assuming that's the world X and the world Y. Maybe where it grabs it from the map, the width and the height. That's probably it because this house one is 16 by 16. 32 and 0. Where is that? 30. Yeah, right there is 32 and 0. Okay, so it looks like it's grabbing from the map. So it's grabbing from 32 and 0. And then the width and height is grabbing 16 tiles. 16 times 8 is 128. Okay. BX and BY, and then B width and B height. I don't know what that is. Box. And then map X and map X is SX and S. Well, why is... Okay. Those both equal the same thing. Box width and box height. BX, BY, B width. Be real! Oh, and then we have the dog X and dog Y, which is not... it's going to be something different. Because we have a whole new dog system now. 60 and then 63. You know what? Let's go ahead and plug that in. So we've got one dog right now, so it's going to be dog... Player ID. Player ID. Okay. Where is it? Return dog. And so it's adding it to the dog table. Okay, so this should be dog 1. So if we print dog 1 dot x. Okay. Dog 1 dot player ID. Oop. Oop. What is that player ID? Oh, gamepad. I think that's a compatibility thing. So if we do that, and we do player 0, okay. So if we did dog 1.x, but if we change this to 120, doesn't do anything. $120. Huh. Something else must be setting it. Or reinitializing it. We're just going to comment this out for now. And actually, while we're in here, let's go to our debug, and we're going to change this to dog. And we're going to say X. And we're going to say dog 1. Dog 1. So now we can open up our dog menu and we can move our dog around, and we've got nice, cool pixels. I wonder. That's funny, it does expand it up. And you know what? Let's floor it. Because why not? Coolio beans. Coolio. Beans. All right. So when we change the world, we update all of these stupid nondescript variables that are borderline magic numbers. And then we init the objects, and we are not doing... is that under items? No, I bet that's under world. Because change world, update map, adjust move, adjust map, draw map, update bones, spawn bones, drop bones, update bones, update drops, draw drops. I don't know where init objects is. I don't have an objects file. Items. Nope. Home? Oh, yeah, because it's like the objects are actually on the home map. That's why. Ugh, I tell you what, old me's brain. Yeah, okay. Well, let's just take a look at that real quick and see what it does. All right, so we're gonna pull the key, key equals. Oh, token compression. Ugh. Fill table with that, and that. And then the TV, and then we turn the TV off. Okay. Yeah, well, that's gonna get gutted. All right, so now when we update map, let's see, that's change world. Back in our home scene, we had change world and then we unpacked the world. So that just set a whole bunch of like global variables. And then we tick the clock. We do the carpet. We can pull this unfold out. We don't need that. That's more token saving stuff. What did I do? Well, apparently unfolding that breaks something, so awesome. We'll leave that for now. Unfolding breaks things. Alright, and then we have some more stuff. Alright, well, these are... Wait, these are those globals. Oh my... This resets a whole bunch of stuff. That needs to be tucked into like a function that like re-inits. Yeah, like resets the timer, all of that jazz. Because it's like you would return here after you do a run, you would return home and it would have to reset all that stuff. Ugh, bug. Alright, and so we've got 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, negative 96, and then 0. Awesome. Dog idea. Bark bile? That sounds disgusting. A dog with a smartphone in his hand. His ability is that he shows you secrets on the map. Bark bile? Bile is like what you puke up when you have an empty stomach or something. Mobile. I gotcha. Yeah, I'd have to workshop that name. Bark bull. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Bark bile. It was just like, I was like, I don't know about that, dude. I don't know. That's maybe pushing it a little too far. Oh boy. Alright, and then we init all the actors. Okay, and if we do that, it breaks. Oh, it doesn't break things. I guess because the actors init themselves now? I think they do. We'll leave that alone because I don't want to mess with the actor class stuff yet. All right, and then so it unpacks the world. It unpacks the world. Now we're doing that in a separate actor class. We update particles. We check objects, but that's broken at the moment. We update the title, which is like the nice little name thing that comes down. We run our Konami stuff. Debug button 5. What is that? Well, I'm pressing button 5, but it's not doing anything. Oh, button 5, data 15. Yeah, that's for like flipping data points on. Cerberus. His bark throws 3 fireballs. Nice. Alright, and then the kitchen door. That's only open when the data for that works. And then we update actors. Draw map. There is a draw map function. And then we draw like extra stuff if we're in world 3. That's the worst thing because, or world 0, because we just need to like have a different scene for it. This is like before I had a scene manager. Oh, manually doing things manually. Blah, 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 blah. Draw map. Is that in here? Update map. Adjust. Draw map. Okay. So let's look at our draw. Here's our stuff. Scale X. World width times 8. What does that mean? What? What is... Okay. All right, let's think about this. We're doing a for loop on 2 axes. X. Let's split these apart so we can see what we're dadgum doing. I love Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Fight it out. I know that's not that. That's from Overbattle. I miss 90s and 2000s Squaresoft. Scale X times -1 plus I times scale X. Wow. I can't believe I actually came up with this stuff and understood it at one point in time. And then we draw our map. World X. Where's it getting the world from? World X, World Y, Map X. We'll leave that together. X, Map Y plus Y, World Width, World Height. Okay, hold on a second. Let's take a look at our manual. Map editor, not map editor. We want the map command. Here we go. So we have, quit that. Tile X and tile Y. SX, XY, tile X, tiles Y. Tiles X, tiles Y. P8, Pico 8 layers, tile width, and tile height. So we have, okay, so the source is optional. Draw a section of a map starting from tile X, tile Y at screen position SX, SY from the user data source or from the current working map when source is not given. Note that the source parameter can be omitted entirely to give a Pico 8 compatible form. Okay. All right, so it's going world X. World X is WX. So that is our origin point. And then, oops, where is our draw map? World X, World Y. Map X is where we draw the screen, but it's, oh, right. So I'm doing this because we're doing this because the world map loops. When you walk off the edge, it just repeats. So I think I had like 4 of them. It was like a 2x2 grid of the map. That way when you walk off one side, there's like enough of the next map there before it like loops. I think this probably is what's going on there. That's why, that's where we're doing it a 2x2 grid. Although technically I think that's a 3x3 because we're going 0 to 2. Map X plus X was width and height. Screen X, screen Y. How many tiles? So that's the width and the height we're pulling from the map. We're not dealing with the Pico 8 layers, and we have tile width and tile height. But we're not using the tile width and tile height. Okay. So that means I got it. We need to not worry about this scaling and stuff. We just need, because we're not, in Pico 8 we were clipping selections of the map out of the Pico 8 map data. We're just going to have individual maps for this. So what we need to do is we just need to figure out the width and the height of the map, which is easy enough. And then we just need to draw 4 of them, or 9 of them, or whatever. But what we need to do is we need to think through, do we still need to do the map like this? Like, is there a better way? Because we can like get rid of all of this junk. So if we do this, let's copy this, comment it out. That's just a thing I do because I like to look back at what my previous code is. I kind of get lost in the sauce sometimes. Change world. We want to know map. We don't know. But we don't need any of this. We just need the map. And then we'll say we can't use map because map is the command. Yeah, we could make it a global. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. So changing the world. You want to change the world, do you? We're going to number all of these. So let's split the string here. And we'll do map right there. So our global map I'm a gardener, I hack plants, not a gardener. I hack plants, not the internet. I am a hacker. I hack the internet, not plants. Map equals fetch, then maps, and then the map number. And then dot map, we're going to grab the first layer. That will probably change because we're going to use a skeleton map for tile collisions, just because I like those. We can get rid of all of this business. We don't need to update the dog's position. We might need to init objects though, but honestly, there's no reason that should be done in the world. No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't have to init objects here. We should do that in the scene. So we're going to this scene. We unpack the world, we init the objects. Like that should be done there. And then change world. We're going to just say 1, because this is map 1. Map 1, right there. Now, if we go down here to world, whoop, I missed my function. Change world. Draw map. All right. Let's make a new draw map. Draw map. We should probably, I'll have to think about where this is probably going to be into like the edge detection and player movement stuff, but I probably want some maps that are infinite scrolling and some that aren't, because I don't want the dog, like the house, to be infinite scrolling. That's silly. Before, I actually did have it infinite scrolling, which is why it infinitely scrolls right now. But I had like an edge detection thing set up so that it wouldn't push it past the edge when you're in the house. Super silly. But it was hacky enough to make the Game Jam game work, so. Alright, so we don't need to scale this. Sure, we'll do that. Let's get... level design idea, a random weather overlay. Some rain or snow, that's fun. We're going to get map. Actually, we're going to say local. You know what? We can do these up above. Map width equals map width, and we can do that for height as well. And then we can do that in our change world function. We can just update those once as globals. We are crashing, but that's okay. That's okay, because that's what we do. Draw map. Let's see here. Do we crash if we do that? Ooh, we do. Oh, we're using global world Y for get flags. Yeah. We'll have to pull that stuff out and just redo it. Actually, where was that happening? Get flags under tools. Where was that being called from? Dog.lua get flags. Let's rework all this. Attempt to convert it with a no. Update map. Okay, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We don't need the local anymore because we already have the width and height. We're going to draw the map at 0, 0. So just on the screen. And we need to start this from -1 to 1. So we want 0. No, we want I. Hold on. I want it to start 1 to the left. We want map width times I. So that's going to, the first one is going to be map width times -1, which will be negative map width, and draw it to the left. Then the second one is going to be map width times 0, which is going to be 0, so it'll draw it at 0, 0, and then 1. And okay, so then we'll do that here. Map height times I. Or no, that one needs to be J. And then we're drawing it on the screen. Tile X. Okay, no. We want where it's grabbing from the map, which is 0, 0. And then we want to draw it to the screen at screen X and screen Y. So that's here. And then the number of tiles from the map, we don't need that. And we don't need... yeah, we just need the 2. Tiles, like where to start drawing from the map file and where to draw on the screen. That should be good. We're gonna have to check on that though. Level idea of the lake, you can go inside the lake, but then you will be attacked by stronger enemies, aka fish. You can do the doggy paddle. Map update. All right, where is this originating from? We've got actor, update all, dog.lua, update. Update map with self. Update map with self. We're putting self inside there. Why are we doing that? So this is the dog. Adjust. Come on. Oh well. I should just get used to it. Adjust X and adjust Y. Whatever this is adjusting. Because we don't have a comment. Thanks me. Check for box collision. Okay, box collision. Okay, box collision. That's going to be... like the edge detection where you move to the edge of the screen and then it starts pushing. That's okay. So up here, box, that's the box for edge detection. BX through BH is fence collision. I called it box back then. All right. So in here, we're checking for box collision. We're not going to check that in here anymore. Why would we check that in the map? We're going to check that on the dog. Move fence collision to dog. All right, and then map is going to be plus minus. Okay. So if our dog moves, its X is greater or lesser than the edge of the collision box, then we update this adjust. And then we update the map X and the map Y with that adjustment. So essentially what it means is the dog stays stationary in the middle of the screen and then the map moves around him. That's how the position stuff works. Which is probably going to be problematic if we're doing multiplayer now. Because we're going to have multiple dogs pushing that edge collision at the same time, trying to determine which way the map is going to go. Secret idea, the yellow tree, a holy tree that every dog should mark in their life. Get a random treasure. That's funny. Marking your territory. Hold on a second. Thought my daughter came home. All right. I mean, yeah, I get it. I get it. I understand. All right, so we're updating the map, which means this is where the logic is to get the map to cycle. Skip table checks if unmoved. Okay, that was smart of me. Exit early. Yeah, this is the loop map stuff. Just X, Y for movement. Oh yeah, so this adjusts the particle tables. And moves all of the particles. That's so janky. Oh man, I'm starting to understand. And there's adjust move and adjust map. It just cycles through the table. All right, where are we getting stuck? Let's go ahead and just comment this whole thing out for the time being. Okay, that's not the right map. What the heck even is that? Map 1 should be... well, it definitely looks like that. Oh, now I understand. Now I understand. Down here in our draw the map, we got a couple things going on. This is tiles. This is pixels. So we actually want the map width. Let's be descriptive. Local tile width equals 12. Tile height equals 12. And so we'll do map width times tile width times I. And we can actually put this inside of a parentheses. I don't think it should matter, but if anything, it helps me read it better. Times tile height. All right, so at least we're not overdrawing or like writing over the map stuff. Okay, we're still grabbing map 1 for some reason. Let's put the source in here. Map. Hey, look at that. And it's nice and centered too. Aw, that feels good. I need to make him bark. Barking is the most fun. Bark, bark, bark. Bark, 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 bark. Look how fun he is. Bark, 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 bark. Bark, 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 bark. Bark, 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 bark. All right. Now, I should probably do this. Local screen X. Screen X. And screen Y. Oops. And that's going to be a map height. Tile width, tile height. And that's J. All right. Okay, wizard, keep your secrets. You know what? Let's swap over to Pico 8 real quick. How does this compare to the home screen? Okay, I'm feeling it. It's definitely bigger. Definitely wider. But like we're gonna need more room for multiple dogs, right? It's for sure bigger. We might need to tighten the tiles up a little bit, but you know, that's doable. We're just kind of working it right now. I think I might want to move the whole thing down a fuzz. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I think I want to grab this whole thing and move it down a tile. No, that's too close to the bottom. I wanted to give room for the title screen up here. But that's too close to the bottom because remember, we're not a full 12 tiles. It ends up being like a half a tile. So let's undo that. Okay. Now let's see here. What if we do something stupid like plus dog dot x? Okay, it is drawing multiples. All right. And it is drawing one behind. Let's see if it's doing 3. It is. Okay. Interesting that it's... Oh, because it's adding it. Okay. Now, see, we don't need... We need to come up with a different system. I feel like we should probably be using camera. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we need... Let's see, if we do camera... How would we detect to loop? Unless we just used absolute screen coordinates. And then when we detected that the dog is moving a certain amount, we adjust the quadrants that we draw the map sections at. So that would almost be these here. If we did local, well, this is probably going to be global. But if we did local map quadrant, we did quad, but we're gonna have the quadrant low and high, so that would equal -1. So that would be x1, x2, and that would be 1. Then we'd have y1 and y2. And we are using I with x, so it would be quad x1. That sounds like Lufia. Ah, Lufia, the Ruins of Lore. That's the Game Boy Color one? Man, I love Lufia too. Alright, I like Lufia 1 as well. Lufia 1's crappy, but it's kind of got some nostalgia just because I like Lufia 2 so much. Oh, that's quad 2. Okay, right now that's just replacing, but let's put this in place. Let's go, make quads global and follow player. So here's what I'm thinking. If our dog moves, then we could... we could calculate that here. Hold up. Maybe we'd need to do it in update function. But we could do... Hold on. We could take the width of the screen. Hold on. How do we get the quad? So we could say, okay, this is going to be just for dog 1 for now. Dog x equals dog 1 dot x. But we want to find out what screen he's on. If we were to think of the x and y coordinates as multiples of screens, our screens are 240 by 135. So dog x divided by screen, well, let's just do the regular math for now. I believe screen width is a thing, right? Yeah, screen width and screen height. So we can use that. Screen width. So that means, let's do the math real quick. I don't like math. Actually, I really like math, but I'm terrible at it. If our dog X is 60, and we'll say 60 divided by 240, it's going to be 0.25. And then we take this and we floor it. So that'll bring that down to 0, which means that we're on screen 0. Now, if our dog is at 241 divided by 240, that's 1 point something something. We floor it, and then he's down screen 1. Yes, okay. Okay. So we've got dog X, we've got dog Y. We need to make this work with multiple dogs. Dog Y is going to be dog Y, and then that's going to be screen height. That's going to give us screen X. Let's do it that way. And screen Y. And then we want this to be screen X minus 1, because the screen that we're in is screen 0. And this is going to be screen X plus 1. And then screen Y -1. Screen X +1. We can get rid of all this quad stuff. Oh, junk. I was using screen X and screen Y down here. We'll call this draw X. Draw X and draw Y. All right. Okay. Oh, we can test it this way. We can go off of the screen. That should be still drawing one. And if I keep going, it's going to disappear. It does. Let's try it in the other directions. Still on the screen, and it should disappear. Ooh, interesting. What if we go down? Did I miss a Y or something? Oh, I did. There it is. All right. Testing up. Boop. All right. And then if we come back down, it's on. Nice. And then if we go down. Boop. And then we come back. Boop. Nice. We already tested left. Let's test right. And boop. Nice. Sweet. So that means those maps are following our dog around. Now, to handle multiple dogs, we're probably going... We probably only need to follow the first player dog, actually. And then we would just clamp the rest of the dog's movements to the fence, like the bounding box. So when they would push into the bounding box, that would adjust the global camera, and they could fight for that. But the player one dog is always going to be on the screen. So this actually, yeah, this is multiplayer proof. The only thing that would break this is if somehow one of the dogs could get outside of the collision fence. Because then it would just follow the one dog off while the others are stuck. That collision fence is going to get tricky too. Because we're going to have tile collision. Like what happens if a dog is stuck behind a tile and everybody else is pushing towards the collision fence. Anyway. Nice, this works. So that means that if we go to dog and we let's see. What is Anonymous Jedi 24? Thank you for this follow. I super duper appreciate that. Let's see. 240 divided by 2 is 120 minus 6 for half of our sprite is 114. So that's 114. Let's do the same with 135. Ow, dang it! Goodness, phone. Why do you fall over when I push on you? It's very rude. 135 divided by 2 minus 6 is 161. Hey, Joseph! Good to see you. Not so anonymous Jedi anymore. Execute Order 24, Joseph. Skill issue. That's true. I mean, when my phone is on like a little slanty stand and I'm tapping it, punching in So math stuff and it falls over, that's kind of a skill issue. You're right. All right, let's go down to like 80. Oh, you know what? Let's stick with 61. Now, if we do camera. Oh, thank you. I'm remaking here. Let me show you. I'm remaking my Pico 8 Poochie Survivors game in Picotron. So this is the Poochie Survivors for the Pico 8. You can play it on the Lexalawful BBS at lexalawful.com/a bunch of stuff, and then search for Poochie Survivors. So yeah, I'm remaking it for Picotron, and the challenge of the night is fighting through my old code and understanding what it does and remaking it into my image. No, remaking it into something good. Okay, camera offsets all of the draw operations. That is true. He tries to go on my nerves. No, Hoy has been dropping a whole bunch of really good ideas. Oh, no worries. Come back if you can. I miss you. Joseph. Come back, Joseph. Joseph, don't leave me. Joseph, come back when you can. All right. So camera offsets the. Let's look at the manual real quick. There we go. Set a screen offset of X and Y for all drawing operations. So of negative X and a negative Y. That's very important because it's actually backwards than what you might think. Oh, snap. That's super early. Well, I hope you're able to get a healthy amount of rest and sleep because that's super important. Thanks for hanging out too. Hope to see you next time. Y'all be good. Camera. Oh my camera. Oh my camera. Where can I put that? So I want to test the infinite scrolling. So we can do we want to take the dog X and Y coordinate and we want to adjust the camera by that, but we need an offset. We need like an origin offset. Because when the dog is at 114 by 61, this is not taking fence collision into account. This is just to test the wrapping and stuff. So we need like an origin that is like minus this amount here. So that'll keep the dog in the middle of the screen. And as the dog moves, the draw operations will move. So the dog's X and Y will change, but it'll stay in the center of the screen because the camera is going to offset as well. So let's make a global that's we're going to test with. And we'll call it dog origin X. Dog origin X equals 114. And then this equals 61. And then when where do we, you know what, let's just put this in like the main for now. Or the scene, that'll work. So we update the actors. And then we'll say camera. And then that's going to be X and Y. X is going to equal dog origin X minus dog1.x. Is that right? That sounds like Capcom. Yep, Mega Man Battle Network. Yes, that should be right. No, it's not. No, it's not right. It's not right at all. It's not right in the slightest. Did I mess up the... No, dog origin, O-R-I-G-I-N. O-R-I-G-I-N. All right, let's look at the debugs. Ori X and the Will-o'-the-Wisps is going to be dog origin X. Dog origin Y. Okay, so it stays solid. Okay. This is in... Oh. That is in the home init scene. Home init scene. We want this to be updated constantly. So we update parts, update title, update actors. Okay. Plus? Or do we want negative this? There we go. There we go. Look at that. Oh, oh, look, it's still down there. That's funny. Oh, boy. That's silly. But we do have... Oh, interesting. Oh, no, that's because we're back. We're back at the origin. That's funny how it just, like, goes up and then it stops. That's funny. But yeah, this should just loop infinitely because it's constantly looking for the screen that the dog is on and then drawing them around it. I could honestly probably get away with like 2. I would just need to make the screen wrap point like halfway. It doesn't really. What are we doing for a CPU? 3%. Psst. Psst. Yeah, we don't need any of that. That's fine. We can be a little wasteful with this. Awesome sauceum. Yeah. Yeah. I dig it. Yeah, see, we're way off. Look at that. And then we're using true coordinates. We're not doing anything like wacky with coordinates. That's nice. Oh, we're not dealing with like absolute screen coordinates, which is fine. That's okay. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Yep, and so then we'll just have to work this to use the collision fence. Probably going to wrap it into its own little helper function too. Okie dokie. Okie beans. Okie beans. I think I'm going to wrap for the night. Let's see what we did. We have player movement. Did we not do anything? Map movement. We got map movement. Yeah. I was like, did we not do anything? I've actually do that quite a bit where I like add a ton of stuff to the list and then and then I like do a bunch of work and that's nothing that I added to the list. So I end up like typing stuff in here just so that I can check it off because I like seeing them checked off. Nice. Okay. All right, so that means if we have absolute map coordinates, then that means checking for collision is going to be pretty easy for tile collision. All right, I feel good about that. I feel good. I like the the little title. Wee. Ooh. Does it come back down? Because it's just like a sine wave. I didn't even use like proper easing functions. It probably snapped back down there. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is going to be so much nicer now that I know how to use like sine and cosine and easing functions and stuff like that. It's going to be so much juicier. And Picotron, especially since we're using quarter resolution, or half resolution rather, well, technically it's a quarter of the screen, but it would be half the resolution. We're gonna have so much more CPU overhead for like particles and enemies and like all the good stuff that you want in a Survivors like, because there's normally lots and lots of stuff going on. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be awesome. You know what? I want to do one more thing before calling it a night. We've got like 20 minutes. Let's get the bark working. I want to make him bark. Bark, 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 bark. Let's turn the music off for a second. And let's look at Pico 8. Burp, burp. So we're just playing a sound effect, and we're playing a sprite for the duration of the sound effect. We do have a little sound effect here, although it's not great. I really wish there was a way to replicate Pico 8 sound effects perfectly in the Picotron synthesizer. Yeah, it's just not as good. copy the notes. But it's like, it's not the same. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. So if we like come here, the difference is, nope. Oh, I did the wrong one. That's why. This is synth 1, still synth 1. But it looks like we're at, let's do this. I'm not good at this stuff. A, B, C sharp, D, E, E, F, F, E, D, A, oh, I got A sharp right. A, G, F sharp, F, D, okay. 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 Still doesn't sound the same. Still speed 1. What if we change the instrument? Ooh, no, that's 2. It's too synthy. I like how the other one is kind of squeaky. It almost makes him feel like a squeaky toy. You know what I mean? It's like, but there's no effects. It's a different octave. Yeah, I just don't know what's different. I might need to get somebody to help me like tweak the instrument. What if we, oh, you know, what if we tweak this a little bit? What if we go down to 16 and we grab a triangle and we go down to 16 and we paste that there and we come back here and we make it instrument 16. Okay, that's awful. But okay, we can still hit space to do it. So, oh, I really don't like these things. Maybe make it an octave higher, like 4 or 5. Let's try that. Oh, getting there. Hey. Is that coming through? Ooh. Let's stick with that for now. That's pretty good. And I can like, I don't want to destroy that by fiddling too much. So I can probably like copy that and then tinker around with it a little bit. All right, so now under our dog, we used to have a thing that was like do bark. Function do bark. And if button P, then bark sound effect on channel 3. Okay. Bark cool equals 5. And then we would cool down. And then we would say if bark cool is greater than 0, then local, okay, we adjust for the dog, and then we draw the sprite. And so I guess that would just keep going down to 0. Past 0, like it would just infinitely cool off. Where's our sprite? 61. Sprite 61. That's going to be down here. That's this one. Okay. We can keep that. I will like to move these around a little bit. Let's do... Let's make a sounds.lua. And in sounds, we're going to grab this. And we're going to just call it bark. And we're going to have... That was 0. So we're going to do dog dot. Oh, it's a property. That's right, because every dog has their own. So let's get, we're probably still going to need the globals, but we need to go back to our dog prototype. And we need to give them a bark. We have animations. We'll do it here. Bark equals 0. And eventually we're going to load custom info in here. And so we'll do bark. We'll do dog1 dot bark on channel. We have a bunch of channels. Let's put that on channel 8. No, channel 7 because it's 0 based. Do I want a bark cooldown? No, I don't. The question is, do I want to use a simple, silly cooldown timer? Or do I want to like check the sound channel? Honestly, I should like if I wanted to be fancy, I should probably like spin off a coroutine that will run until bark cooldown equals 0. And then it like stops the coroutine. Yeah, me either, but it feels like a prime candidate for it. So essentially, the way I understand it is, imagine, I'm going to turn on music because we're not doing stuff yet. Imagine this, we make a coroutine out of this. We say, take this function and turn it into a coroutine. And then it'll step down through this stuff. And then at any point in time, you can do like a pause. That's not the command. It's like co pause or something like that. And it skips out of the coroutine, goes back into your normal init functions, or like your update and draw functions, and then on the next loop, when it hits this again, it goes, like, you can recall it, and it'll pick up from here and continue down. It won't redo this stuff. It'll just continue down here until the end, and then at the end, the coroutine is like destroyed, and you have to like spin up a new coroutine. It's almost like you take a function and you turn it into a coroutine. So from what I've heard, it's good for like story quest stuff, like in RPGs, where it's like this thing happens first and then this thing happens, or like, you know, like a scene manager, like in RPGs, where it's like the guy comes in from the left and then he makes the "what's going on" sprite, and then he talks, because they're just like series of commands, and then it'll pause, and then it'll do the next one, and then it'll pause. But something I could do here is, instead of if, we could have like a while loop. We could say while bark is greater than 0, do this. And so it'll just infinitely loop here and then have like the pause at the end. So it would like, yeah, you could just like have a while loop here where it draws the sprite and then pauses, and then it's not like you would move that inside of it where it incremented down. And then that way the coroutine would just keep looping through the while loop in here until it's done. Then it would exit out and then destroy the coroutine. That's how I understand it. I've never used them. I remember looking into them a while ago, and it kind of broke my brain a little bit, and I was trying to make them work with something, and I think I was forcing it. That could work. I just want to get barking working for now for player 1, because this is also going to be an issue with like 4 dogs barking at once, and I need to think about what audio channel are they going to be on. Like, if 4 players are barking at once, is it just going to kill the music? Should all the barks share one channel? Because like they're pretty short, so if they bark over each other, that's probably not that big of a deal. Like, it probably won't be too confusing. Actually, you know what I should do? I should probably take all of this and I should add it as a function to my dog. So we have update draw init dogs. Why is that even dog? Oh, those aren't even supposed to be there. Yeah, that's old stuff. Old code. Yeah, so instead of the draw, we're going to function dog bark. And we'll say if button 5, sure, that's fine. And then in this, we can just say self.bark. Channel 7's cool. Let's go with a timer for now. So let's just do self.bark cool. And under our prototype, There's our bark. There we go. Just go back down to our bark. Sorry, self.bark not cool. Self.bark is going to minus equal 1. Actually, I think we can clean this up a little bit. If bark is self.bark is less than 0, local effects equals -8? Local dog.effects. What? Oh. Oh, okay, okay. This is the X position of the bark thing. Okay. Yeah, the bark little spray image. Yeah, I tell you what. I loved Pico 8 for like but and everybody was like, "Oh, but it has no room to like name variables and everything." I'm like, "You idiots. You don't even know, Dad. You don't understand." Because it's like the only thing that I knew, and I was like, "Of course, FX is going to be the X of F in the dog. I know what that means. Hush. You don't know me." Now I'm looking at this and I'm like, "You stupid idiot. You don't know anything. You don't know beans. You know beans for beans." Okay. So wait, is FX the flip? I think it is. I think that's what it is. So this is going to be self.flip x. So if the dog is flipped, that's this is so dumb. This is so dumb. Let's do bark. Sprite number, I use N for sprite number, is going to be 61. And then we're going to say bark, bark X is going to be -8, except it's not. It's going to be -12. We're going to push it one whole sprite width to the left. And then if the dog is flipped, the bark is flipped. So we'll do bark X is going to equal 12. So that'll push it to the right side of the dog. Now this, we're gonna do bark N for our sprite. And then the X coordinate is going to be self.x, the dog's X position, plus bark X. And the same thing for Y. It's going to be self.y. But we're not going to adjust it. It's just going to be centered on the dog, on the Y position. Sprites work different in Picotron. Where is our sprite? Here we go. We have the sprite, we have the X, the Y, and the flip. Yeah, we don't pull like that's the width and the height. We don't pull the width and height anymore because sprites have their own unique width and height. But we do want the self.flip X, and I do want to check this to make sure that that's the correct variable. It is flip X and flip Y. So we're drawing, we're getting the sprite, we're offsetting it to the left. So essentially hold on. We're setting it to the left. If the dog is flipped, it's pointing to the right. So then we adjust it to the right. And we draw the sprite. It's the dog. We use the dog's X plus the bark offset here. Same thing with the Y, we just use the dog's Y. And then we flip the sprite if the dog is flipped. So this should... Oh no, wait, we need to hook it up now. So dog bark. This needs to come out of here. We need to... Yeah, we need to... say self bark. And then move this out into the dog's update function. So we've got draw, we've got update. We're gonna update, do the actor update. We're gonna move. We wanna move before we draw this stuff. Oh, this is drawing. This needs to be in a draw cycle. That might need to change. So let's just put it at the end. Because we don't, like, if things get crazy, we need to assume that things can get crazy because we're going to have a lot of enemies and a lot of particles and a lot of high CPU usage. And that means that if we drop frames and we press a button, it's not going to bark. And it looks like we're drawing. Yeah, we are drawing stuff here. So we're going to have to check in our update function if we're barking. So we're going to say if self.barking, then we play the sound effect, we set the cooler, and we run the bark. And actually... Do I want a update bark and draw bark function? Maybe make update bark and draw bark. And then in our update function, let's put it towards the bottom. We apply movement, we do all the fancy stuff. I don't even think we do this anymore. Yeah. Then we can say if self dot, nope. If button P5, then self dot barking equals true. And then down here, if self dot barking is da da da, then we need to say self dot barking equals false. Right? No. Okay, so if we play the sound effect, that's gonna that's like a coroutine. That'll just run. We don't want it to constantly reset the cooldown, and we do want it to constantly fire off the bark though. Yeah. It does feel like we need to split the update and the draw. Let's do that real quick. Let's update bark. Nope. Draw bark. Updates before draws. Update bark. All right, so let's go up to our. Oh, that's right next to each other. And there's my update. All right. Then we want to, if we're pressing the button, we want barking to be true, and then we'll say if self.barking, then self : update bark. And down here, no. We want that here. If we press the button, then we do the update bark. It's almost like we need to init the bark. If we go to yeah, let's use that naming convention. I think that makes more sense. So we might not need an update. So we init bark. And when we init, so we press the button and we init the bark. We need to play the sound effect. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. And then we're going to set the bark cooldown. So we play the sound effect, we set the bark cooldown. And then, that's our draw. And then we set self.barking equals true. And then in our draw cycle, I think that's all we need to do here. Then in our draw cycle, we're just going to say if we're barking, because it's been initialized, we'll say self : draw bark. So we init the barking, we play the sound effect. We set our bark cooldown, and we are now barking, so that when the draw cycle comes around... Oh, take care, Joseph. Sorry, I missed your message. Have a great evening. Let's see. Self-barking. Then we decrement that, the bark counter. And if the bark counter is greater than 0, then we draw the bark stuff. Else, if it's less, if it's less than 0, then self.barking equals false. And we don't draw it anymore. That's one of the things I don't like about this video mode. Sometimes you can't see the errors. Could not include end expect. Oh, did I mess a function? If an end. That one's self-contained. How do you do it up here? Oh, I got a then in there. Ha ha ha! Sound effects not so bad either. I actually kind of think it should be smaller, but that's okay. So if we go back to here and we go to video 3. Nice. Did we change this to 8 by 8? Does that look better? Let's see, where's our draw dog function? Oh, no, draw bark. We want a bark Y. Bark Y. And let's do +4. What's that look like? Oh, pity what I do. What is this song? Darius. Good gravy. Oh, doesn't need to be a plus there. Let's go 3. That looks good. And let's make this 8. Let's make it 7. Let's look at Pico 8s and see where it lines up. It looks like when he's down, it's like right in line with his nose. And it's 1 pixel away. Okay, 1 pixel away. That's actually perfect. But that one needs to come back a pixel. So that needs to be 11. Nice! Sweet! We can walk, and we can bark, and we can walk. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with me tonight. I super duper appreciate it. I'm going to call it. We're 13 minutes over, but that's okay. That's okay. We don't mind being a little bit over. Nah, no, we don't mind being a little bit over. All right, well, next time we are, I don't know if we're going to work on this, if we're going to work on another project. You know, I actually had this idea. I thought about making a little cart for, that would like have like a little effect, like a little spinny wheel that would pull all of the carts that are in my work in progress folder, and you could like spin the wheel and we'll like see what we need to work on tonight. I thought that might be fun to like mix it up and have some like spin wheel evenings. But we're either going to work on this next time, or we're going to work on Salad Kingdom. There's also the Jebediah Peppermint, the Gun Wizard shmup that I was putting together too. We've got a lot of different projects to work on, a lot of different things to have fun with. I hope that this evening was informative, and I hope you had a good time, and I hope you learned something. And if you didn't, that's a you problem. Just kidding. All right, good night, everybody. I'll see you next time. Y'all be good.